Big political story this morning, the bombshells contained in a new memoir from former DNC chairwoman Donna Brazile.
Brazile reportedly considered replacing Hilary Clinton on the top of the Democratic ticket just 2 months before the election. And ABC's Gloria Rivera is in Washington with that story. Gloria, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. That is not all. In addition to saying she thought about replacing Hilary Clinton, longtime Democratic leader Donna Brazile is blasting her own party for what she says are failings on just about every level, from campaign management to Russia to a flawed candidate and a doomed campaign she tried in vain, she writes, to save.
This morning, new bombshell allegations from DNC interim chair Donna Brazile, revealing she thought about dropping Hilary Clinton from the 2016 Democratic ticket. In excerpts from her new memoir released by the Washington Post, Brazile says she seriously considered party insiders' suggestions to put someone else on the ticket after Clinton fainted at a 9/11 event just 2 months before the election. Again and again, I thought about Joe Biden, Brazile writes, but considering the historical importance of a female candidate, I could not make good on that threat to replace her. Other shocking allegations include secret deals with the DNC and fundraising funneled to Clinton at Bernie Sanders' expense. Brazile contends the anemic Clinton campaign cut a deal with former DNC chair Debbie Wasserman Schultz to control its pocketbook. This was not a criminal act, she writes, but as I saw it, it compromised the party's integrity. These new allegations are now giving President Trump fuel to attack. The president tweeting on Friday, Brazile just stated the DNC rigged the system to illegally steal the primary, bought and paid for by Crooked H. This is real collusion and dishonesty. Brazile tweeting back with the hashtag, not what I said. In a clip released on social media, the president telling Cheryl Atkinson this in an interview airing today on Full Measure.
But what happened to Bernie Sanders with the DNC, spearheaded by the Clintons, and according to the new book by Donna Brazile, was horrible.
We have heard from top staffers from the Clinton campaign. They responded to Brazile in a lengthy post. They say they are shocked at her allegations and they do not recognize the campaign she describes in her book. Dan, Diane.
Gloria, thank you. Let's bring in our chief anchor, George Stephanopoulos, who will be hosting this week a little later this morning. I bet Donna never thought she'd have President Trump promoting her book so aggressively.
No, but she'll be our first guest on This Week This Morning.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of the allegations and revelations in her book. Did she have the power as chair of the DNC to actually remove Hilary Clinton from the top of the ticket? And I guess more broadly, what does this whole story say about the state of the Democratic Party?
Well, number one, not on her own. She didn't have the power to replace Hilary Clinton on her own. Sorry, my earpiece is falling out right there. She would have had the ability to get that process in motion, to consult with other leaders in the party and ultimately kick it over to the DNC. But as she actually also says in the book, she didn't actually move that process along, but had this period of about a day where she was openly, well, not openly, but speculating in her own mind, musing about who would be the best ticket to replace Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine. And she came upon the idea that it would be Joe Biden and Cory Booker. She says in the book that she believes they would have won the election.
And about the state of the Democratic Party?
Well, you see it in the reaction to Donna's book as well. It is a divided party right now between the establishment and the grassroots. There are a lot of second guessing and recriminations over last year's campaign. Most Democrats believe that was a campaign that should have won, that was supposed to win. They'll also say got the popular vote, but didn't get enough in the Electoral College. But yeah, right now the Democratic Party has been hollowed out under Barack Obama, and there's a lot of nervousness ahead of these elections coming up on Tuesday, especially the Virginia governor's election, which is very close right now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what, if any, change comes about as a result of the revelations in this book. But I want to get to the new poll that we mentioned at the top of the show. You know, beyond these historically low approval ratings, the majority of respondents are also saying that they don't think Trump has the right temperament to be president. They say he's not honest, he's not empathetic, he's not a good deal maker, he's not an effective leader, and yet his base seems to be holding. Why do you think that is?
A few reasons for that. Number one, we're becoming a more partisan country. People tend to pick a team and stick with it. But even more than that, the president has focused all of his attention, all of his political attention, on cultivating that base. Now, that said, 37% is historically low, as our poll says. No other president in modern times has ever had poll numbers like that. And you have to remember, he's got poll numbers that low at a time when the economy is basically booming. 4% unemployment, record highs in the stock market. I think the big concern for the president has to be what will happen if there's any kind of an economic downturn. Will the bottom just completely fall out?
George, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And I want to remind everybody, George has a big show this morning. He will, as mentioned, be speaking with the former DNC chair, Donna Brazile, about those bombshells in her new book. Plus, House Freedom Caucus chair, Congressman Mark Meadows, and Congressman Peter King will weigh in on the Republican tax plan. That's coming up on This Week, right here on ABC. George, thanks again. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
George.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.